Here we go again. Greetings from the gentleman scholar. And yeah, the gravity method of packing seems to work pretty good. So I believe there's Smarty Bob who favors that. Not now. But it seems to be working thus fine so far. Thus well so far. This is kind of a hard one to clench with. Alright, so anyway. Obviously, a raw cherry wood. And I'm smoking a Man Relax's 50-50 blend of cream brulee and chocolate mousse. He sent to me in a package a little while back. I wanted to get onto YouTube and do this video because I'm feeling really good right now. Feeling good about myself. I'm feeling really good about the state of humanity in general, which almost never happens. It's called the state of grace, and that's why I went. And the YTPC is a big reason why I'm experiencing that. You're a fine group of people. I'm glad to know you. But yesterday at work, I experienced two examples of grace, which got me to thinking. And it gave me some hope for humanity for a couple seconds. Anyway, hold on. So yesterday, I did a Raleigh-Durham turn. And it's just a simple, you go down there, Raleigh, stay there for about a couple hour and a half, and then fill up the plane again, and then come home again to Boston. As I get older, I'm beginning to like those trips more. You can come home to your own bed at the end of it. It's like a real job, but I'm at that stage in my life. Anyway. I'm sitting there reading on this smartphone right here. I have a Kindle app on. Then I'm reading a novel. All the surface is done. I'm just sitting there. We had plenty of empty seats, so I'm sitting there reading a novel. And a gentleman comes up. He's going to use in the bathroom. And right at the moment that he came up, I just happened to drop the phone. And it lands at my feet, so it's kind of hard for me to, the seats aren't exactly super spacious, so I have to kind of like reposition my body to go get it. And the man says to me, "Hey, you want me to get that?" And before I even had a chance to answer, he reaches down. It's right next to my foot. He reaches down and grabs it and gives me the phone back. And he says, I said, "Thank you." I said, "Hey, no problem, man. You guys take care of us. So we like to take care of you sometimes." And I was like, now, if you're in customer service, you're really not used to hearing stuff like that very often. It was humbling. An act of kindness, a random act of kindness. Didn't have to do it. But I was touched and humbled. And went on with my reading. We deplaned. We deplane. The time comes for the plane to board again. It's a slightly fuller flight. We do our service and everything like that. And at the end of the flight, we are landing in Boston now. Gentleman towards the back comes up and thanks me and Denise. Denise, an old friend I hadn't flew with for a while, but he goes, "Hey, wow, you guys are really pleasant. You don't really get to see that very often. up in the air, and I'm like, wow, thank you again. Not something you're used to hearing, in public service, sadly enough. And I'll put it this way: I'm not exactly Pollyanna. Not a company man at all. Um, I'm civil. I'm friendly. I try to have a reasonably affable air as I'm doing my service. It's not the bare minimum, but it's not. I'm not going overboard or anything like that, because it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of energy to invest in. When you deal with the public, you need to kind of conserve your energy. That it's a fact. But in this case, these two little instances of grace really, really humbled me. And if I've been doing a lot of work on myself the last decade or so. I'm not going to try and turn this into an ego stroke, but I have done work on myself, and it's kind of nice to, I don't know, in some weird way have it acknowledged a little bit, because once upon a time, excuse me. Saying, David, one day I'll learn how to clench, talk while smoking, but today's not going to be it. But yeah, back. I don't know. Let's go back about 15 years. Had a big chip on my shoulder, massive chip right there. Didn't particularly like my job. Didn't have the mental or spiritual maturity. If I didn't like something, I didn't know quite how to embrace it or push it aside. I would just act out in the most childish, asshole-ish manner. I would leaven it with humor, but there's some real acidic snark in there, and it wasn't paying off. Just put it this way: when my previous airline, who was letting me get away with things that I really shouldn't be getting away with, merged with the new airline, but another way of doing things, something. I don't know. It wasn't jarring, but it was jarring for me, who had to stop thinking one way and acting one. Stop thinking and acting one way, and then I had to start thinking and acting another. Once upon a time, but yeah, you could have. I could have basically papered my the bedroom with complaint letters from me, just because I was such a smartass. Hold on. And as the years, and we're talking, as the years go by, you start getting mellow, or just angry at the job, angry at the passengers. I mean, one of those people that acts like a jerk and wants to be respected for it. We probably know a couple people like that in our lives, or know of the type. And yeah, a couple things happened in this job directly related to my sense of humor and no filter, that it really had forced me to change. So, okay, you know what? If I want to keep this job, I'm going to have to change some things here. Change how I do things. Change how I react to things. And so, yeah, I've been kind of doing that for the last 15 years, and having been out of work with twice long term with Bill, looking after him has helped out quite a bit too. That kind of mellowed me out, because when I started going back to work, the normal, what I used to think of as irritations, stopped being irritations. A certain apathy kind of sort of like lowered itself over me like a warm blanket. Now, I don't mean like the bad apathy. I don't care about my job. I don't care about the safety rules, because we're there for safety, basically. But I just stopped caring about the stuff that pissed me off. I just started pushing them out of my my radar range, I guess you could say, and that is when my job got a lot better. Now, I'm never going to say, "Oh yes, I'm looking forward to go to my job. I love my job so much. You'll never work a day again." I love that saying. You'll never work a day in your life. Yeah. well, I'm not there, but I'm also not dreading going to work anymore. Which is good, isn't it? Did the work. I eliminated the things that irritate me, that stress me out. I'm senior enough to do that. I don't go certain places. I don't fly certain planes. So I just started sifting the whole experience for myself. And I have to say, right now, I'm in a pretty good place. And that chip, I think, is pretty much largely God. Thank God, because when you drag your crap to work with you, like baggage, when the world is your enemy, you're kind of spoiling for a fight. Everyone's wronged you, and you want to prove it. That kind of thing. It's tiresome. It's really, really tiresome. So some growth was necessary. And when those two different gentlemen paid us those compliments, really made my day, first of all. But second of all, it's just basically, it's like, cool. People do notice this stuff. And I'm not doing it to be noticed. I think it's just easier to comport yourself when you're not dealing with your own drama or looking to start drama or anything like that. I hope I'm being clear. I know I'm kind of waffling here, so please forgive me. Just getting it going again. But I want to say this, state of grace. I'm not a card-carrying Christian. I'm a lapsed Catholic. I have a heavy Catholic background. I was never heavily into the teachings of Christ or anything like that. But I do believe in decency. I do believe in kindness, or trying to be kind. And I do believe in, having a bit of patience. They all kind of butt what she said. That's like a three-legged stool. Because we all see people who have no patience in this world, in this culture where we live in a culture that basically pushes you to get there first, or have more than the other guy, or have all your stuff together and screw everyone else type thing. It's sort of that underlying push in our culture. And but I'm just glad that time is being taken to thank people for what they do, or to do good deeds. And I'm sure the guy didn't think of anything else. He just reached out, got my phone. And, well, you guys take care of us, so we have to return the favor sometimes. And I was just like, wow, that was a very nice thing for you to say. I didn't say this because I didn't want to sound like a big gushing dork or anything like that. But I thanked him very much. He went on his day. He went on his way. I went on my way. And that really made me feel good. So I guess it's that whole thing of that old saying that you keep, that old saying you keep saying. It's, you never know what someone's going through. So be kind. Extend a little grace, because you never know. That kind of stuff has a knock-on effect, just like negativity does. But the negativity thing is so toxic and so exhausting. I just don't want to do it anymore. Can't do it anymore. I'm not equipped anymore. Anyway, another thing that makes me feel real good is some people in the YTPC. I'll send them a note or a letter, and they're kind enough to acknowledge it, and that I really appreciate. So it's one of the reasons why I write letters. It's, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to be your friend. What's up? And so basically, a couple people, one who is in the YTPC right now, you know him very well, Yorkshireman, and another gentleman who was in the YTPC that may be coming back, also an Englishman, not a Yorkshireman. Both of them acknowledged letters that I'd written to them. And that also made me feel good, because I'm going to sit down in front of the fire and read your letter with a cup of tea. And that's the exact vibe I'm going for when I'm writing a letter. To me, it's the most honest form of communication. You have to assemble your thoughts and write them down. And I love it. I love. I don't. It sounds old fashioned. It's right up there with the vinyl albums as far as like being practical. I don't care. I'm always gonna. I've learned it in college. I'm probably gonna do it for most like the rest of my life. I don't even want to know how much I've blown in postage. But anyway, we just hit 15 minutes, and we all have things to do. I just wanted to come down, share that bit of grace with you, wish you well, and have yourself a good day. I'll speak to you soon. I think I'm going to be doing a VR from Old Willie that Papa Bear Gary told us about, and I think that's something I think I would like to answer. But it'll be coming up in the next couple of days. All the best, folks. Cheers.